We're here at last. It's the final episode. And that also means that it's the final time we're going to be able to add a new piece of furniture to the place.
The final furniture. This is the final frontier.
Yep. The one to really bring the room home, and it's the taiko drum.
The taiko drum. Oh man, that's really cool. Now we can play some really rocking, like, beats.
Some really rockin', like, cultural Japanese music.
That's right.
And there were no votes. There was no piece of wallpaper or of fabric that got more than one vote. So that means we're just gonna keep the fabric the same for now.
At least we're all varied in our decisions. Because let's be honest here, do we really have to argue with the current floor and wallpaper? It speaks to me.
Yeah, it's if this one doesn't get voted out for the rest of the game, I wouldn't mind.
The ornaments that we can able to buy from the shop are getting a lot more interesting now that we've gotten past the more generic stuff we can reupholster.
Yeah, it's I think every time you beat a boss, new stuff gets added to the shop. And the further you get into the game, the more it's like actual stuff that has like a little bit of character to it, rather than just plain desks and pillows and whatever you want.
Oh man, are we going further into space with every single level?
Uh-huh.
Whoa. We're going to the stars! It's full of... beautiful. It's so beautiful.
We're going to the stars, every single one.
It's gonna be a long LP.
Yeah, it is. This, if you look at howlongtobeat.com, it's like 1,000,000 hours.
You're in for a treat, guys.
Yeah, this is the JRPG of Kirby games.
This is gonna be a great stream marathon for charity.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a very long one. I hope you're all ready.
Very long games done as quick as possible, which is still pretty slow.
They say to this day, 1,000 years later, it was still recording.
It's still streaming, yeah.
even when Hitbox is long gone.
Oh.
Somehow.
And then at the end I can shave off my beard and sell that for charity as well.
This level's looking cool. It's got little planets kind of going on for it.
Yeah, it's cool. And what's also awesome is that the planets are like rubber band balls, sort of. You'll probably be able to see another one soon, but yeah.
That's a cool idea. It's got a bit of a Mario Galaxy vibe to it.
Yeah. This is cool too.
So, not that... Oh yeah, wait, I was going to say not much like Mario Galaxy then, but then you got little shooting stars that make collectibles. And you know, that's totally a Mario Galaxy trait.
Yeah, you can really see it there because I ran right into it, but when I got rid of that, like, planet-shaped patch, there was one of those, like, exclamation mark buttons popped out.
Ooh.
And when I hit it, that's when all the shooting stars turn into beads.
Oh, okay, so it was more of your doing then. Yeah, I like this one. It's got really nice... I really like the whole space aesthetic thing. It's always been one I've quite liked a lot, so I can get behind this.
I'm not a super big fan of the space aesthetic in, like, games that are, like, more aimed at children, I guess, but I think that this game is just so charming in general that it still makes it work.
Well, unlike, oh man, was it Future City? Which was the one where you're inside, like, the space station? It was low grav called again?
Oh geez, I couldn't tell you.
Whatever, but that one had a much more kind of serious, like, triumphant space theme for it, but this one is a lot more joyful.
Yeah.
Like, as in the wondrousness, you know, the wondrousness of space. It's quite nice. I like how they've done the music here. It gives it a different personality than the previous levels.
Yeah. It gives it more of almost like this is less space and more looking at space music. You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's quite fitting. Also, those star lollies totally reminded me of you know those cheap, like, they're like candy lollipops you get, but they taste like chalk, basically.
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
There's are they shaped sort of like a flying saucer?
Those also taste bad, but it's not those. It's like an actual lolly, or it's got like a stick.
Okay.
But instead of it being made out of like chocolate, it is just a piece of gummy candy, and it's like really gross and cheap.
Alright, back up there. Are you telling me that lollipops made out of chocolate are like the regular variety?
To be fair, what I'm used to calling lollipops is true. I mean, in Thornton's, the UK... I think it's UK only. I don't know if there's any in other country. The chocolatiers, anyway. they do these like lollipops with like chocolate instead of like, you know, the traditional lollipop kind of thing, and it's great.
Okay.
They're like my favorite things.
We do have those too, but those are... We pretty much only eat those around our variety of Christmas.
Oh yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
This is not to distract from the regular lollipop, of which I will now call popsicles for the rest of my life to get rid of this horrible mistake.
No, but popsicles is when it's like frozen, right?
Right.
Right, but then you also have just lollipops that are just like candy, and they're made of like hard sugar, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's also true.
Yeah. We're never gonna figure this out.
Oh no. This is awful.
The lollipop that I was thinking of it's shaped like a saucer, and it's like half beige, half pink.
Right.
And the beige half is supposed to taste like caramel, and the pink half is strawberry, I guess. But the thing about it is that it always, scars up the inside of my mouth.
I've never heard of that before.
No, it's like, it's not necessarily like a common brand thing or anything, but those are like the cheap lollipops around here.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine would like always have them, and they were, I don't know, I would get hurt eating them every time. It was the worst.
It was painful, but it was worth it for the sweet taste of sugar.
It tasted alright, I guess.
Hey, it's sugar. Who's gonna complain about that?
I mean, there's such a thing as too much sugar.
So on these small planets, I'm noticing little towns.
Yeah.
So does this mean Kirby has suddenly grown about 50 feet since the last couple of levels?
Maybe.
What if Future City was on one of those small planets you were just visiting?
Maybe these are just really tiny planets.
Maybe. There's so many possibilities.
And like, even then, look at the percentage of these planets that are taken up by these buildings.
Yeah, those are some pretty massive buildings. All small planets, like you say.
Yeah.
Who can tell?
Yeah, I think they're just very tiny planets.
This game has a very strange sense of scale. Wouldn't you imagine Kirby as like a 50-foot monster going around cities? It would be this adorable, but also the scariest thing ever.
Attack of the 50-foot marshmallow.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters, because that thing has kind of a creepy face, but it's Kirby.
Yeah.
Imagine a 50-foot Kirby. I don't know.
I think the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and Kirby have a pretty similar face. But more importantly...
Ooh.
We're in the last level of the game where they're still introducing new vehicles. How about that?
Oh my god, yes, this is great.
We have a little Galaga segment.
Oh, this is amazingly fun looking.
Playing many years of bullet hell shooters with anime girls in them has prepared me for this moment.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
Too bad there's no upgrades though.
Yeah.
Because that's all the fun. That's the most of the fun of those shmup games.
Really, the closest you get to anything like that is when you first hold down the attack button, your attack sort of fires in a spread.
Yeah.
And you can keep tapping the button to keep it firing in the spread, but if you hold the button, it just fires all three of the projectiles straight forward.
Okay, so there is some level of strategy to this.
Yeah.
So, oh goodness. If there's actually ever been people that ROM hack this game, I would expect the first thing they would do is make this into a completely impossible bullet hell.
Yeah.
That is the first thing I would imagine. Just imagine about 55 of those flying saucer guys in one screen.
Yeah.
And then fear.
The thing about, like, bullet hell games, right, like Toho and whatever you want, is that in those games, your hitbox is only the size of a single pixel.
Yeah.
Whereas the hitbox of Kirby here is actually, like, pretty accurate to how big his model actually is.
That's all that makes it harder then.
Yeah, exactly. If you would mod this game to make to give it like level design as hard as a bullet hell shooter, it would be way harder just because you wouldn't be able to avoid anything.
Kaizo Kirby.
And we end it with a nice space cloud in the distance, dust cloud.
Huh.
At least I assume that's what that's supposed to be.
Ooh, I love the doilies on the bottom. Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Oh, I've always loved the aesthetic of doilies for some reason.
Doilies are nice.
I know. I give great credit to anyone that actually knits those. Or crochets those.
My aunt does that.
Oh man, it's so intricate and cool.
Yeah. I've seen her do it, like, when I've been over, she's done it a couple times, and I just, like, I look at her, and then I look away, and then I look back, and it looks completely different than from when I was looking at it before, and I don't know.
Is this next patch literally just a switch?
Yeah. We're just opening the door, you know?
Did we even need a patch? At all? Wow, the future is here.
Yeah, we could have probably jury-rigged the Switch out of something.
Ooh, that was a very ominous opening there.
Yeah.
It's meta. It's getting Meta Knight in here. Oh man.
It's time for the final boss. It's Meta Knight possessed by Yin Yarn.
So this means it's going to be a even match wait. I've heard that in most Kirby games with Meta Knight, he usually gives you a free sword power-up before you fight him?
Yes. Not in this game.
Oh gosh!
Because this time around, Meta Knight is not the honorable knight that he usually is.
No. But I would have liked to imagine what Sword Kirby would be like made out of yarn.
That would be cool.
But then again, with Kirby's yarn powers, he already has a weapon.
Yeah.
If that, it's like, oh man, reminds me of something, what is it? Oh, it's just like a rope or lasso, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Work.
Yeah. So, for fittingly enough for being the final boss, this is actually a pretty hard fight. Because the thing is, right, his projectiles are pretty fast, so you really have to preempt it when you grab them.
Yeah.
And then you also have the fact that you can only hit him when he does this attack where he charges at you. He doesn't do it, like, for a really long time in the second phase for whatever reason. So eventually I just get...
I'm tired of this.
And then I just hit him, yeah. But when he does the actual attack where you're supposed to hit him is when he sort of does this circular slash.
Ooh.
And that attack is really fast, and you have to know to run away from it preemptively.
Yeah. Well, it is the I suppose, like you say, it is the final boss.
Yeah. And there's also the fact that if you get hit by one of his attacks, like, he'll probably chain multiple attacks together, so once you start losing beads, you're gonna keep losing beads.
Gonna lose all your beads!
Oh, no.
Then what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, you don't have enough beads to pay the rent. Old Dom Wolf's gonna kick you out of the home.
There's one last attack that I didn't manage to show off in the first fight.
Oop.
And that's the end of that.
Take his sword off him, and suddenly he's good again.
Mm-hmm. And then he leaves in classic Kirby adventure fashion. Unfortunately, he doesn't lose his mask to show that he is also a Kirby in this game.
But then what is he?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh no. He was Yin Yang all along.
Wait.
That is crazy.
He's been there since day one. This has been Sakurai's plan the whole time.
Underneath Meta Knight's mask is another mask.
Whoa.
We did it! We got a piece of the magic yarn.
We got many pieces of magic yarn now.
Yeah, we got like pockets full of yarn.
How are we going to stop it all from falling out of our pockets?
I don't know.
So is this going to connect it all together? Oh, it's beautiful.
Now the world is finally whole again.
Now there's a beach right next to a space. Which is right next to a field.
How's that even work?
I don't know, but there's a cake at the bottom, which is beautiful.
How can there be outer space inside of the atmosphere?
Thanks, Kirby.
I suppose it's more of a night area, though. More
Yeah,
so than
maybe.
Space.
That makes sense.
Jumped for joy.
Yay!
The celebration was cut short when Meta Knight awoke. Kirby, forgive me. I blame the yarn. Meta Knight explained to Kirby that Yin Yarn was taking over Dreamland.
I blame the yarn for many things.
Yeah.
Kirby immensely.
The yarn made me do it.
It's a great excuse.
Yeah.
I've got it, Fluff declared. Prince
Whoa.
Fluff pulled out a sock.
Oh man, that sock.
just like
Wait.
the one Yin Yarn had
Oh.
stolen from Patch Castle.
He has one too.
Socks always come in pairs.
I love that explanation.
That's perfect.
It's great. There's always two socks.
But one sock is magic that can only be given when the world is whole? What about the other sock?
I don't
Is that
know.
just the sinister sock?
I guess so. Maybe it's because that's the sock that caused the world to be split in the first place. Well,
Oh, when was King DDD here?
I get the whole time, I guess.
So this story is basically telling us that your left sock is the villain.
So you're not gonna believe this, but I'm a dirty liar. There's another world.
Yeah, I kinda could have guessed that.
Yeah.
That ain't satisfying to fight no yin yang.
Nope. So we can use this sock to go back to the old world, but that's not fun, because if you do it through the old level select method, you can do this.
Oh wow, look at that! Doing all
Whoa.
sorts of acrobatics.
Mm-hmm.
We're terraforming at the same time. That's impressive, you know.
Mm-hmm. And now it's a little anticlimactic to go back to Spaceland to do the bonus levels. But we gotta do it, has to be done.
The music here, the wah 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 music is...
Yeah, it's really fitting. Mwah, mwah.
Oh, man. I just wanted to let it play for a bit. Because we're vacuuming.
It's more like, I don't know, like it looks like a dreidel.
Yeah, it's more like a spool spinner or something. Maybe.
And now it's a satellite.
Oh. Moon base.
Yep. It kind of looks like shawarma on a stick, though.
It does.
Yeah.
Delicious. Although, shawarma's very hit and miss for me.
More like yarma. Never mind, abort that joke.
Shiana would have been better, to be honest. But I'll give you credit.
So look at this level. How come the camera's so zoomed out all of a sudden? It's not usually like this.
There's got to be a reason. And it's totally because... Wow! Oh, no! No!
At long last, the robot's back.
The robot's back, but I don't know whether not to be happy.
It's okay, because there's no Waddle Dees in this level.
Oh, so pure wanton destruction
Yeah.
of everything in your path is...
Entirely justified destruction.
Well, we are stopping their missiles with our own missiles.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
But ours are bigger, so that means they're more powerful. And they have a star on them, so that means they're, like, 3 times as powerful.
Oh, man. I'm gonna remember to put stars and everything now. That'll help remind me. How powerful.
You know how in middle school, you'd, like, get a star for good behavior?
That's right.
That also made you more powerful.
It's also true in the English exam system as well, because we don't just have A's. You can get an A star.
Whoa.
That's the cream of the crop. That's the cream of the crop.
Oh man, we don't even get that, we just have 1 through 10.
Oh, but at least you can say you're number 10 or number 1. I'm not sure if it's like that.
10 is the best number, yeah.
Okay. At least you can say you're number 10. Mm-hmm. It's not the same ring to saying, I got an A star.
In high school, I was, in class with someone who... So, 1 is the lowest grade. Mm-hmm. So basically, if you get every question wrong, you get a 1.
Okay.
And the joke, sort of, or like the official explanation is you get that 1 for entering your name on your paper.
Right.
But at one point, someone in my class spelled their own name wrong on the paper. So officially speaking, they got a 0 on that test.
So not only did they just spell the name wrong, they answered none of the questions at all.
Well, it was like a depleting system. So he probably got some questions right, but still enough of them were wrong to get a 1.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. So this level just seems to be quite simple then. But it seems fun.
For a late game challenge level, this one's actually really easy, yeah.
Yeah, it looks it. I mean, I don't think it's very difficult not to make these levels easy when you have missiles that you can spam like this as many times as you want. Although, to be fair, this part looks a little more tricky.
This is the only really tough part of the level, just because you're so big and slow and it's easy to get hit.
I still love how Kirby looks on the inside, though.
Yeah.
He looks so innocent.
And yet so deadly.
Yeah. So if I remember right, if you play co-op, you can control more missiles if you play?
No, the second player gets to control a boxing glove.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
A classic tune from the Kirby series.
Mm-hmm.
A classic that has just been released and it's only in this game, therefore it's a classic.
Well, no, this song is actually like a recurring theme in the Kirby series.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And speaking of recurring, like these little crystal things are actually a reference to Kirby Superstar. To the final mode, Milky Way Wishes, where there was a boss called Heart of Nova, and it was like a similar crystal-shaped thing in a protective orb.
Huh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a boss?
Yes, because you fight it. It shoots like weapons at you, or like lasers, and you fight it in like this tiny, side-scrolling shooter.
It kind of sounds more like a Mega Man boss to me. Like, you know, a Wily Castle boss, I mean.
Yeah, it's a very strange name for a Kirby boss. I think in the remake, Kirby Superstar Ultra, they even changed the name to something that sounds even less like a Kirby name. It's called like... It's made to sound Latin. It's called like Nova Arum Ipsilus or whatever. Something like that.
That's almost like that Final Fantasy IV reference in Super Mario RPG.
I was going to accidentally call it like Nova Crystallis, and that's what the Final Fantasy XIII series is called.
Oh, a nice crossover indeed.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if Kirby was a summon?
That would be cool.
Actually, Final Fantasy's 15 summons look really cool.
They do.
But that ain't Kirby. We got another patch, and it's a shooting star. And there's a hula hooping.
I love this hula hooping alien so much.
Oh, it's an alien? I thought it was a ghost, because it had like a halo.
The ghost of Mars. Now he's gone. He will hula hoop no more.
Now the planet will hula hoop in its place, in its memory.
Yep.
We're going on the rings! I love me some rings.
I love all kinds of rings.
Yeah.
I don't like wearing them though. But
Oh no, wearing them would get... I feel like wearing a ring for as long as, you know... It's like if I gained weight in my hands, if I gained weight over time, like my dad has his wedding ring, and it grosses me out whenever I see it.
Yeah, my dad could never get his wedding ring off either.
Yeah.
I think my mom still can, but...
Oh man. Totally gonna get an expandable ring. Future is here.
It's just a rubber ring.
An elastic band.
Yeah, or just one of those like plastic rings you get in cereal that have like an opening on the bottom so they can stretch a little.
And if it ever broke, I'd just have to buy more cereal.
Yeah.
Which is great, because I love cereal.
Cereal's nice.
I've recently gained a taste for drinking milk straight again. Which is strange, because I never liked milk until recently.
I'm not super huge on milk, but actually I've been eating cereal for breakfast for like a while now instead of just bread.
Oh man, the best thing... Yeah, go on.
So now it's just I drink more milk because I put it in my cereal, as one should.
Oh god, it's like the best thing though is at least like Newsly basically. It's just the oat stuff. But I have this one that has like papaya and raisins in it, and it's great.
Oh man,
and it tastes amazing with like milk. I tend to like eat it and then just drink milk, kind of like similar to cookies and milk.
Yeah,
and it's the best.
That does sound good.
It almost tastes better than cookies and milk. It's great.
The other day I was at the store and they didn't have my regular cornflakes. So instead I decided to just take a gamble and get a pack of like breakfast granola instead.
Did the gamble pay off?
Well, I'd eaten granola bars before, but never anything like that. So I was a little worried that maybe I wouldn't like it when it's all soggy and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was actually really good, and then going back to the cornflakes was a bit of a bummer for a while.
I don't know if it's me getting older though, because I cannot eat like Frosties or Frosted Flakes as they're called in America, or anything like that anymore. They're just too sweet.
That's understandable.
Well, not as sweet as a Saturn snack though.
No.
It looks pretty great, actually. I like how these enemies come up from underneath the level, like it's like they're going underneath a rug or a mattress or a mat or
it's pretty cool.
That's really nice. I like that.
This right here is like the only part where it's a good idea to keep mashing the attack button because there's meteors coming from everywhere and you gotta hit them.
Yeah.
Lest they hit you.
Well, surely you can't die in Oh my.
Oh.
That's a classic Kirby enemy, because I remember this one!
This is a classic Kirby boss, Krako.
Krako, that's it. I remember actually playing this.
Quite often one of the hardest bosses in the game, and he's no pushover here, so he almost got hit.
Yeah, I remember this boss, because I remember playing Kirby Superstar with you quite a long time ago now.
That was a long time ago, yeah.
Back when we tried to get, VBA link working, like a link cable between emulators, basically.
Well, I think if I remember correctly, what it was is we tried playing the GBA Kirby, and that didn't work, so we played the SNES one instead. Because SNES netplay is surprisingly good. It's weird how not very good GBA netplay is when stuff like SNES and Genesis and even GameCube netplay is really good nowadays.
There's GameCube netplay? That sounds awesome.
Yeah, because, man, Dolphin, like the main GameCube emulator, it's incredible how good that thing is.
I need to try it out a little more, because I have Dolphin, but I just never really got into, emulating the Nintendo GameCube games.
Yeah. My computer can't really handle all of them. It can, but just barely, and usually the frame rate dips a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than emulating PS2 games, though, because that's not a good sign.
Oh, no. And it's 2015, it should be better by now.
Yeah, but alas.
What is next for us on our journey?
I'm gonna buy 3 Titan X's and emulate a PS3. That's what's next. Oh, you mean in the game?
Oh yeah, I meant in the game.
Oh, we're gonna go to Dreamland.
Awesome.